Welcome everyone, I'm Jordan Sharp. We are finishing up the NFL Future Odds updates here at Sportsbook Review. We're finishing up the NFC South right now, taking a look at the team finished in close to last place, tied for last place actually last season in that division, and that is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have a Super Bowl price from Bovada Sportsbook right now of plus 5,000. It's 50 to 1. It's actually a pretty solid price considering where they're at in accordance to a couple of other teams in the Super Bowl odds. For instance, with their new coach Lovie Smith, they're ahead of Miami Dolphins, the New York Jets, the Houston Texans, all three teams that either finished better than them last year or are projected to finish better than them in some season win totals across the sports betting realm here this offseason. So very interesting to see where the Bucs sit at Bovada Sportsbook. I've mentioned several times I think Bovada's lines are pretty sharp when it comes to future odds, and 50 to 1 seems like a solid price for this team, which should be quickly turned around by Coach Lovie Smith. Now, defense is where it's going to happen. That's obviously where Smith's forte was back when in his days in Chicago, and coming in to Tampa Bay, already started to remake that defense, and I think it's going to have a positive effect not only on their potential ATS value, but their future odds value as well in some instances. We'll get to that in just a second, but their NFC price right now coming in at 28 to 1 this season, and with some of the additions on defense like they've made, they brought in Michael Johnson coming over from Cincinnati, gave him a big contract to help alongside that defensive line to get some more pass rush along with Gerald McCoy. Adrian Claiborne should add a nice element to that defensive line for Lovie Smith as well. They added Alteron Werner from Tennessee, excellent cornerback, helped bolster that secondary, and for a defense that was pretty solid last season, should be even better under Smith this season. So don't underestimate the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the spread. Don't think just because they were a bad team last year under Mike Glennon that Lovie Smith is going to come in and quickly turn this team around. Now, speaking of Mike Glennon, the NFC South price for these Bucs are at plus 550, and that would almost be bettable if it wasn't for the New Orleans Saints in this division. However, their offense should be a lot better this season under Lovie Smith than it was last season. The Bucs brought in Josh McCown to likely take over for Mike Glennon. Probably not going to have a job much longer in the NFL if McCown does what he did last season with the Bears filling in for Jay Cutler. And even though I don't think that kind of upside is warranted for Tampa Bay, if he can run this offense and their skill players can continue to play well, Vincent Jackson obviously plus 30 now, Doug Martin not really the guy that looks to be the workhorse back for this team anymore now that the new coaching staff is around. But either way, this team has some upside. Do not underestimate them in any sort of way this offseason because they could provide a big ATS turnaround. While they might not win more than 5 or 6 games straight up, I think definitely they could be an ATS value in certain situations, especially in that division a division that doesn't have a lot of good offensive lines against a team with a very good defensive line. So that'll do it for the Tampa Bay Bucs. Make sure you check out the rest of my future odds updates this summer. But until next time, I'm Jordan Sharp, and this has been another edition of the Sharp Pick.